Hey guys, Max here, and I'm going to try and make another video, an adaptation on the last video I made, where I talked about my draft strategy. And in this video, I'm going to talk about how I adapted that a little bit. If you want to watch my first video, I will try and put a link into it in my YouTube page. I'm not exactly sure, I haven't done this before, but I've seen the way to do it, I think. So I'm going to try and link, I think in the top right it'll be like a little white banner that'll link you to my previous video. So go watch the first 10 minutes of that if you haven't already. And otherwise, maybe a little confused here. I'll give you a quick rundown in case you really don't want to watch that. Basically, the rundown is just I almost always force base red or base green if I don't get specific rares in Esper. And that usually works out for me. And then I can be base those two colors. And then if neither of those are open, which happens occasionally, I prefer to be white aggro. And I talked about that a little bit more specifically in that video, but that's all I'm going to go into now. So in this video, I've adapted a significant amount, I think. And I like to hedge a lot now. It used to be I would commit way too early for this format, and I realized that you don't need to commit early because there's so many playables, but the playables are also so synergistic that they go late as long as you find the open archetype. So you do not need to commit early to get a good enough deck or enough playables. Also, I end up with a lot of decks. When I hedge into the right thing, my decks usually want 17, 18, maybe even 19 lands. So that's another reason that playables don't matter as much, although it's not a huge difference. So anyways, I try and go into red or green if I don't open a good rare. But even if I don't open a good Esper rare in pack 1, I'll still take some late cards. Like, I'll take a late here. So yeah, I mean, there's a reason I'm a mythic spoiler, right? It's that I want to show you some of the cards that like go later, like Master Transmuter. There's a perfect one. This card just goes late. I will always first pick this card, but other people won't because it doesn't look very good until you've played with it before and you've had the synergy. But it's just a good card that you can easily get a lot of good value on and become a win con in blue and black. So you've got like stuff like Master Transmuter. Master of Ethereum doesn't quite work because it's more of an aggro card, but like even Inkwell, you can do reanimation things with Inkwell with like Sifts Sifts and the Cathartic Reading to discard it, and then reanimating it with a common Agravarian Restoration, which is 2 blue, return an artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. Grand Architect sometimes goes late. I mean, not Council Judgment, but like I hope you understand what I'm saying. There's a ton of board wipes people do not respect at all. This is especially in like pack 2. So if I hedge pack 1 and then I get some late board wipes pack 2, which I know it sounds crazy, but you just get them late. It's crazy. It's just crazy. People do not understand how good board wipes are, and you just get them late. Even pack 1, I've gotten late Blasphemous Acts because people don't want to be in red for some reason. I find it very strange, but it does happen. I think people don't understand how to draft white as a non-aggro deck. Which, again, it's hard. You need rares, but like leaving the ability to go into that, as long as you get the board wipes or the good white cards in packs 1 or 2, is really, really valuable, I think. And so the reason I don't like blue or black in general at common and uncommon level is mostly common, but there's not that many great uncommons either, is because even though it has good cards, you have great removal in black, right? You've got at common and uncommon. Black has the best removal by a lot. Oubliette at uncommon is just amazing. Cast Out is obviously amazing, and Capsule is amazing, and it's also got a lot of synergy. And then you've also got good common card draw like Sift and good tempo like Seal Sabotage, and also Heartless Pillage. A little off topic, but Heartless Pillage is very good in the set. I don't want to go into it too much, but yeah. So I like those, but the issue is you can't just draft a deck around those because all your threats are shit, and your deck just doesn't quite function. In addition, removal, I think this set is very different in how much removal you need, which is another reason I don't value black that highly. You need a couple removal spells, but you don't need that many, and there's significant diminishing returns, because against some decks, they just don't play shit that you actually want to spend a removal spell on, and it's just not as profitable as it would be in a normal format. So that's why I don't like playing blue and black commons. If you look through the set spoiler, which I do recommend that you do if you question my analysis, I think you'll see that the deck, you just can't build decks out of blue and black cards on their own. Even with base and other color, it's still really rough with blue. Black, you can like splash some removal spells and some okay cards, but even that, I'd still like some uncommons or rares if I'm going to be splashing black. And by splash, I don't necessarily mean like 2 colors and then splash black. I just mean like base green or red or even white and then splashing black for whatever you got. Yeah, so I hope I've explained what I've done well. I'm still working on the YouTube format, and I've heard that I flander a little too much and go off on tangents. So I'm gonna try and stop doing that. I'm gonna go back to the focus, and the focus is that I like splashing, or like I like hedging on picks that are low opportunity cost. Right? So I see a late Steel Sabotage, for example. Card goes very late. It shouldn't. It's a really good card because there's a ton of artifacts. It's great tempo, and then being able to bounce an artifact is good value as well. You can bounce your own if you're in a late game and you need value, and your opponent isn't playing artifacts. So it just goes late. I pick it up for low opportunity cost, and sometimes it's just a huge payoff. But more specifically, there's like multicolored uncommons that go way later than they should. Like, these are all rares. But specifically, like Stockpile, you can do like Esper things with, Sphinx Summoner, Thopter Foundry, that kind of stuff. Sphinx of the Guild Pack works in actually no. I'm gonna retract Sphinx of the Guild Pack. It works in everything. This card is alright, no tangents, but this card is great and goes in like every deck. But no big tangents. Savamai's Embrace goes absurdly late, and you can draft control decks or like Everflowing Chalice decks and just splash this in green if you've got like Star Fixing or whatever. Galactic Hook also goes very late, and you can draft Artifacts deck where this thing just murders people. So there's stuff like that. I hope what I'm saying makes sense. There's also obviously there's a buttload of rares. There's a bunch of rares for board wipes. There's Merciless Eviction, Blasphemous Act, which isn't quite Esper, but it's only good in like Esper type colors because you don't really want board wipes in other decks. I found at least because in my red decks I want Orcish Vandals, and then it just kind of gets awkward playing board wipes. But yeah, so there's Blasphemous Act, there's Merciless Eviction, there's Wrath of God, and there's Austere Command, which is particularly good. And there might be another one that I'm forgetting about, but yeah, there's just a lot of board wipes, and they do go later than they should. There's Shroom. Shroom I found to be insane. Shroom it's just a win con. Like there's a bunch of ways to tutors for it, and if you put some ways to reanimate it in, like at common you can put Aggravating Restoration in your deck, and you just suddenly can't lose the late game. And it could suck on tempo that you draw this card or you draw a Restoration early and you can't exchange them for tempo, but you can board them out if you need to, and just being able to beat most late game decks is great. Baleful Strix also goes late, not in pack 1 because obviously people know how powerful it is, but in pack 2, people just aren't in blue-black in only because it sucks, and so if you get this late, then you can hedge. I mean, Scarab God, doesn't quite count, but like Brea goes late. Again, packs 2 and 3 because it's really hard to shove into it. But if you just hedge a little bit, you can make this work really easily. Not easily, but somewhat easily. So stuff like that. There's some artifacts that kind of only go in Esper that can do that too. But that's the main gist of it, I think. Maybe I should start like scripting this or talking ahead a little bit so I don't get off topic because now I'm not sure what else to talk about. But I remember there's something else I wanted to talk about. So I talked about how the blue and black commons don't work. I talked about what cards I want to hedge for and how I hedge. Oh, lands. All right, tangent, and another reason that this deck works. This works way more than it should. These 3 lands: Maze of Ith, Academy Ruins, and Buried Ruin. These just go late. I'm especially upset about Maze of Ith because it goes in literally every deck. And then in addition to having these go late, you have Expedition Map, right? So if you're already playing a bunch of mana, if you're already playing a bunch of colors and you want mana fixing, Expedition Map's like a fine card at common, right? And it goes reasonably late because most people aren't playing Tron because they're not stupid. And then suddenly you just have this card that fixes your mana and lets you cast all of your artifacts multiple times in the late game, and you only want to be in these colors if you get busted artifacts. So when you play Esper and you get these 3 cards, I mean specifically the Academy Ruins and the Buried Ruin, and you get Expedition Maps, it's just amazing. I know what I'm saying might not make sense. It's very contextual, and it took me a while to discover it. Obviously, I'm like 20 trophies in, and I just now realized that you could do this. But yeah, this is what really pushes it over the top, in my opinion. So especially Ruins and Buried Ruin, because these go late. Maze of Ith also goes later than I think it should, because I think you should always pick it whenever you see it for any reason whatsoever, especially given that there's a common tutor for it in Expedition Map. But this helps too. Getting this card with board wipes is just insane. I'm going to go a bit of a tangent of why Maze of Ith is good with board wipes, but it basically means they have to play into the board wipe, right? Because if they only have 1 creature in play, then you can just Maze of Ith at every turn and keep passing, and obviously a late game favors you for the control deck, and so they have to play 2 creatures at least, and then you board wipe, but you still get to kill the Maze of Ith. It's like an icy manipulator of sorts, if that makes any sense. So yeah, these are our other big upsides to it with Expedition Map, and the deck just kind of works. It's hard to explain, so I hope this draft is an example of both how you do it and why it works. And the other big thing that I talked about, I hope I talked about it, was it's low opportunity cost because you waste a couple picks here and there, it just doesn't matter that much. My decks almost are never short on playables and are generally pretty powerful because of the synergistic picks, like I said. So people, even though there's a lot of playables, they're all synergy playables that go in like specific decks. So as long as you find the open archetype, your deck will have plenty of playables, I promise. Okay, so now I want to go over a couple examples of this deck, and then of decks I've drafted, and then we will go over the examples by example. I mean pictures of final deck lists, and then after that we will watch the gameplay or watch the draft and then some gameplay, and I will voice over it. So you guys can also give me feedback in the future about what you like to see because the videos do get pretty long, and if people don't give a shit about the gameplay, like, it's not even that interesting. There's some stuff you can learn from it, but it's a lot to watch it. So, let me know. Maybe I'll poll people. Anyway, so this is the first example. It's not quite Esper, but it's a good example of the hedge. Unfortunately, I can't actually show you the draft of this one, because that would just take way too long. I guess I could do multiple drafts. Yeah, maybe I could do multiple. I could just not show gameplay at all, and I can show you multiple drafts after explaining my strategy. That would be very interesting, wouldn't it? That's a good idea. Okay, well, I'll try to keep that in mind. But yeah, so then this draft, I was green early because I don't want to be in blue until I get the rares. Pack 2, I got a late Erection Thieves Pack 1 and a late Sift. So I was like, okay, maybe I could be blue, maybe I could splash, maybe I could be like mono green, splash a little bit of blue. And then Pack 2, I just opened a Jace and I think I got past like a really late Master Transmuter. And suddenly I'm just in good blue cards with some win cons. I also got past an late Inkwell. And the Toxic Blue as well. So this is just something, this is more about staying open. This one isn't a perfect example, But if you extrapolate a little bit, and I tell you about the draft, hopefully it makes some sense. So again, most of the reason it's good is because most of these cards I got really late. Most of these blue cards I got really, really late. So staying open was a huge payoff, right? I could have not taken this Arachnides. I could have not taken the Sift. But for reference, the Arachnides was like 5th or 6th pick, pack 1, I think, because I don't know why. Don't tell me why, but it was 5th or 6th pick, and the Sift was like 7th, I think, or something absurd. And so I could have just not taken those, and I think I passed the Arachnides for like or I took the Arachnides over a second clear, over a clear shot. I didn't have any at the time, but I'm just not a huge fan of clear shot, and this is just such a good hedge with such low opportunity cost, and it ended up being a huge payoff, right? And then we open a Jace, so we hedge some more. And again, I still don't even have to be blue there. But if I see some more good stuff, it's nice to have the option, and it's a low opportunity cost. I think that's the main pull, is that it's low opportunity cost. And then the deck just kind of worked out. I'm not going to go into it too much more than that, but this is where staying open really paid off, even though generally I don't like playing blue cards. So it can be an okay supplemental color. And this one I think is a much better example. I think this was a 3-0. I think this was a 2-1 and the other one was a 3-0, but I don't remember for sure. This one I'm certain it was a 3-0. Anyways, that's not particularly relevant. Now this is a perfect example of the Academy Ruins deck. I know you can barely see it there, but Academy Ruins, for those who you don't know, is the one I was talking about just now. It is a land that taps for colorless, and you can pay blue and a colorless and tap it to put an artifact from your graveyard on top of your library. So we have this, we have Expedition Map Tutor for it, we have a Shroom, we have a Treasure Mage Tutor for it. And it's just so consistent already. It's just so consistent. And then we also have Sift to discard good artifacts to get back. We can get back the map itself if we get lucky and draw it. We can chump with Barrier and get it back, or if they spend a removal spell, get back, Star to draw card, get back Fairy Mechanist or Master Transmuter. And this is just an example. Again, I can't tell you exactly what happens in the draft, but I can tell you that we did not start off saying, oh, I want to go blue. I started off taking some Orcish Vandals and hoping red was open and a Gal Blast. And I got like a late Lava Mancer. I was like, okay, I'll play red. But then in pack 2, we opened and got past, like all in this pack 2, I got like a Shroom, a Master Transmuter, a Conjurer's Closet, and a late Sandstone, right? And I was like, okay, well, I'm glad I hedged on these because now my deck's great. The Conjurer's Closet looks a little loose, and it might have been. The Lux Cannon was definitely loose. I don't know why I picked that. I just wanted to do sweet things, to be honest. I could have also played the 1/4 that puts charge counters on it, but it didn't seem worth it just for this with no. Anyways, I'm going off topic, so ignore me. I need to work on not going off topic so much. So yeah, the main point of the deck, again, it just looks clunky and it looks like it wouldn't work, but it just does. You've got Master Transmuter to like cheat out these 7-drop artifacts or Shroom. It can also just be a value engine in the late game, bouncing Shroom and putting it back in play, bouncing Ichor Wellspring and putting it back in play. At one point, my opponent had a Wormcoil engine, and I just played a Lane Barrier and then kept bouncing it and putting it back in with Master Transmuter to blanket every turn, which was just amazing as an answer to Wormcoil. And then we have Sift plus Restoration to cheat these things out. I'm not sure if I talked about that already, as well as the Transmuter. We've got good value. We've got some nice bombs. We've got a board weapon, the Blasphemous Act, which we can splash pretty easily with 2 Ash Barons. The map helps a lot there. The star helps a lot. The Factory might have been a bit greedy. I was just playing it because I have a map, and also because it could be nice versus aggro decks. But I'm not sure I need it with the Riddlesmith, the barriers. High Priest was another great win con, and just an all-around must-answer card. I'm not going to tell you guys what High Priest does, but actually I'll tell you what. It's 1 and a black for a 1/2, and it's got Morbid. As long as a creature died this turn, you can tap it and tap 2 other creatures you control to make a 5/5 black demon flyer. So it's a great card, even with low creature count. It just works. And that just kind of worked. Like, I had to play an Autonomous Automaton, which I would have preferred that was be a 7-mana 5/5 hexproof from monocolored, but like, it was still fine. You can get back to this room, you can do all sorts of stuff, and the deck just worked. You can't deck yourself because the Academy Ruins. Multiple ways to go get the Academy Ruins. If you ever get Academy Ruins plus Shroom up, it's kind of like moat. It's so hard to get past that because you're just getting murdered on value, especially if I have a 4/4, especially if either of the 7-drops too. I think what might have helped in this deck was like a removal spell to get back, particularly the 1 black Executioner's Capsule to get back with Shroom. Because I did have some awkward games with Shroom, but generally putting 1 Shroom in play is almost always enough. And the Tutor Forge just really pushes it over there. There's 2 uncommon tutors that you can get artifacts. There's lots of artifact bombs. So that's usually where I'm going to be in Esper. There's other things you can do too, as you'll see in this video. So you have Treasure Mage and the Sphinx. Summoner Sphinx, which will tutor for artifacts, and then there's lots of good rare artifacts, which I guess I'll show you some of those now. There's like there's Ballista, there's Battlesphere, there's Duplicant, there's Bosch is okay but not great. There's Wormcoil Engine, there's Blightsteel Closet doesn't quite count, and then there's also like there's also rare non-colorless ones like Shroom, and Centriplets, and that kind of stuff. Brea is an amazing one. I almost forgot about Brea. So you can just do stuff like this, and it just kind of works. There's good artifact ones here. There's like the copy one. I also don't remember the name, but it's 3 in a hybrid mana. Spectres and Metalworth, that's the one. You can get Master Transmuter, which is kind of enough. Although these things don't get tutored for by all the tutors, they don't get tutored for by the Summoner. But I'm a big fan of hedging on Summoner as well. Inkwell, stuff like that. So I think that's going to be it for this video, for this guide part, and then I will go into the draft itself. Alright, so draft. As you can... Ooh, that's not good. Oh, no. Ah, shit. Okay, hold on, Hold on, guys. Sorry about this. Technical difficulties. I will be right there once I figure out how to get it back up. Here we are. Okay, sorry about that, everyone. And I'm back. And I gotta skip to the gameplay. As you can see, I'm gonna shell a little bit and say, oh, look at me, I have 19 trophies. But yeah, I've been playing a lot, and I've got a pretty decent win rate. I think my elo is pretty high. So we will skip into the draft portion, and I will show you exactly what I mean by this hedging strategy that I'm telling you about. Where the hell's the gameplay? Man, I'm not sure. Recording for a while. Okay, so we get a pack with a duplicate, and that is a great card to tutor for. There's, again, multiple uncommon tutor comics, and it's also just a great card. I think duplicate's a great card. I'm not going to go too off a tangent, but you can also tutor for it with a card like Fierce Empath, and it's also just a great card. I mean, it's almost a mind control-ish, and it's colorless, and it's just a good card. It's just good value. And then we decide between these commons that I'm generally a pretty big fan of. I'm a fan of both Gremlins or Vandal and Predator. So it's definitely between these three. I could have seen an argument for Guild Mage, but I'm just not. I don't like green-white. Like I said, white aggro decks, white token decks, whatever you want to call them. Those are my backup for in case green and red aren't open, or I guess even Esper. I do think white has a very high potential. It's just kind of high variance. If you don't get the right cards, it's awkward. I don't know. It might just be personal bias. I don't like playing aggro that much. So maybe don't take my word for it on that so much. But it is a very viable archetype, and you shouldn't sleep on it. I end up going for the Predator because the duplicate could be good in green if I get the Fierce Empath, and then I get like another big threat that I tutor for, and then I want Predator to rep those out. But that's a very tough pick, and it's very close. I could have seen the Vandal or the Gremlins being correct there as well. All right, so here's another tough pick. We get 6 of the Guild pack, which I think I go, that cards will probably wheel. I'm not going to take it here. I think it might honestly be better than Karthus, but I hadn't played Karthus yet, and it seemed pretty sweet if I was going to be green ramp. It's another nice one you can tutor for with the Fierce Empath, and if you play it, it just kind of kills people in 2 to 3 turns as long as they don't have anything to answer it. In addition, here's a side note again, is black legendaries are very, very good because they can't be killed by either Cast Down or Executioner's Capsule, which are the 2 premium removal spells in the format, right? So I end up going for the Karthus here. The Whisper of the Wilds also feels a bit bad to pass, but I think you need threats before ramp, and the threats are typically higher rarity, whereas the ramp is almost always common. There's cards like Predator, Whisper of the Wilds, and Chalice are all commons. So anyway, for the Karthus, it's a very debatable pick. I do still think that Sphinx might just be better. Hexproof is just such an absurd mechanic, and there's really not that many multicolored things in the set that can actually kill it. Make sure my camera is in a good place. It looks like it might not be. No, that's good. Let me move it up a little bit. Okay. All right, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Shit, too much. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, we get another pack, and there's an Uvalod Mysteries, and there's just nothing else. Green's the color we're looking to be in, and there's just nothing else. Blink Blast's okay, but it's a rare, whereas Mistress Factory is an uncommon, and it's just like almost strictly worse than Mistress Factory. The Mistress Factory blocks is a 3/3, which is just completely insane without costing too much mana. This both costs a mana to activate, and it's only a 1/1. Does have flying, but who cares? And in addition, it costs a mana and tap it to actually pump a Blink Moth. So I think it's just much worse. It's not as good on blockers. It's almost always not as good on attackers, and it's just not as good a card. So we go for an Uvalod Mysteries. I feel like it's pretty easy. Now we have a choice between Clear Shot and Aberration. I do love Ancestral Blade, but again, I am very far from being a white aggro at this point. So I end up going for Clear Shot because if I'm going to be in green aggro, removal is going to be few and far between, although I do have a duplicate, but I would like multiple, and Clear Shot is a good card. In hindsight, it might have been the Aberration, but I think the other reason I didn't want to take Aberration is because the cards I'm wrapping into are 6 and 7 drops like this, so having extra green mana doesn't really matter. But I do like Aberration, and it's a very tough pick. Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not sure. Yes, as you can see, I'm highlighting that Ancestral Blade. I'm not sure. I think I'm actually talking about how I don't want the Aberration because it doesn't actually help me wrap that much unless I want to like cast multiple spells in the same turn, which just isn't that likely or worthwhile of a venture. So we take the Clear Shot, skip ahead a little bit. Okay, and we've got a Bloodbriar, and really nothing else. Here's where I could have started hedging and take the Steel Sabotage, but at this point, with literally nothing for Esper, and Bloodbriar having good synergy with both Kozilek's Predator and Uvenwald Mysteries, I think it's definitely the Bloodbriar. Also, again, Steel Sabotage would go late, so there's no really point to hedging here when I actually have a good substitute pick. But if the Bloodbriar wasn't here, I don't want any of these cards in what I'm looking to be in. So the Steel Sabotage would be a good hedge. Like, maybe the Steed or the Hex Mage, but, like, I just don't see this going in this deck. Could have also taken Second Runes if I wanted to hedge, because I do end up needing fixing a lot when I'm in these blue-black uncommon decks that I'm telling you about. So yeah, we're going to take the Bloodbriar. Okay, so here is where we start hedging. This pack's very bad for us. I guess Cogwork Assembler is pretty good with duplicate, but it's just not. If we're going to be in ramp in green, there's usually better things to do with your mana than pay 7 mana to hopefully copy a duplicate. And then if they kill either of these pieces, suddenly that doesn't work anymore. I have a duplicate already, so Sphinx Cinema is looking like it has a lot of potential. It's very late, which could be a signal, and there's just really not much else. I could take Manamorphose as well, I guess, to fix the Karthus, but I think this Hedge is just really nice. And I could easily end up like, again, not this pack, and I don't know how to commit to it yet, but let's say next pack I just open a rare or two that's really good in Esper, and I get past a Wrath. Okay, well, now I'm going to be very happy I picked the Sphinx Summoner instead of a Manamorphose or Cogwork, which is just replaceable. So again, it's all about the opportunity cost, I think, is why. So now we've got another interesting choice. We've got a late Sift or a Fierce Empath. And this one I'm not too sure about. I think in hindsight, I might have wanted to take the Fierce Empath, given that I have both a Duplicate and a Karthus, but it's kind of a signal getting a late Sphinx Summoner and a late Sift, and if you remember a pack before this, or a pack before the Sphinx, we also got a late, by my standards, we had a late Steel Sabotage. So we'll see what I pick. I think I'd go for the Fierce Empath here, but I think the Sift is totally defensible, and it's good to remember that that was in the pack. And here we're getting Aberration, not much else. Not looking to play Hoardery if I am in black. Braids is just a bad card because it's symmetrical, and if your opponent has a big card, they get to do it first, and they can just kill Braids in your Dobbs. So pretty easy Aberration. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think the Empath was definitely better than the Sift, but it will end up feeling bad as a spoiler. I mean, obviously, I don't want to spoil too much, but you guys know that I'm going to hedge into Esper because otherwise, why would I show you this video? Why would I show you this draft? Just to trick you. Talk about how I hedge into Esper. Okay, here's a gameplay of some random nonsense, of some random standard deck and a 3-0 or whatever. So we'll skip ahead a little bit. Shit. God damn it, the skipping head keeps punishing me. Okay, so we wheel both the Orcish Vandal and the Gremlins, which is insane, and a very big side of like red open, a good signal with red open, that red is open, and given that I'm already have the Karthus, being in red is a much higher upside, I end up taking the Vandal because I already have a bunch of 3-drops, so I think it's much better here, although, to be fair, currently I don't really have much to sack, but that same reason, for the same logic, the Gremlins isn't very good either because they're not making very many artifacts, so Vandal, I think, has a lot more potential, and it's also a 2-drop, which is important. Plus Bloodbriar plus Bloodbriar plus Vandal is very good. So yeah, we can go into like a deck with Vandal and Dragon, and by Dragon I mean Rapacious Dragon, which both fixes my mana for Karthus, it triggers Bloodbriar, and I can sack stuff to Vandal. So this is what I normally do. I think this is actually just a great example of a draft of the draft strategy that I'm employing here, because it just shows everything. This is what I normally try and go into red or green, and I do. I like to hedge in case Esper is open, which, as you can see, I'm starting to do. I'm putting the Sphinx Center off to the side because I don't want to rule it out yet. Shit happens. We could just play Duplicate and Sphinx Center and be okay. I guess I'll take a big guy here since he's all stuck. I could have seen taking the Infusers. That would have been a little better, but that's just a little too, I'd say. Again, late Steel Sabotage, super low opportunity cost, slam it in here, and you never know. And now we've got 3 solid cards. We could play it and still splash the Karthus if we want to. It could be like, and then this really seals the deal. A last pick Cogwork Assembler, which is just completely absurd. This card is good. Do not sleep on it. You can copy your opponent's shit. So if they're playing like either the 7-drop uncommons, colorless 7-drop uncommons, Sandstone Oracle, or the 5/5 flying Hexproof for multicolored, then it's great. So moving on, and now we open a pack with 2 great Esper Rares. So, and nothing else in the pack. So just low opportunity cost, 3-Red Inspector and Cosmic Predator are the next best. And I'm really glad we hedged now, because we could just be in this sort of Esper mid-range deck if we want. And worst case, if we just don't see more Esper stuff this pack, we go off of it, and we still play these colors. And we missed a Predator, which sucks, but given that we're looking to be more of a mid-range deck than a ramp deck, Predator is kind of replaceable. It's still a very good card, don't get me wrong. It's a 2-mana 3/3 kind of, that pumps my Bloodbriar, and also could ramp out like Karthus and Duplicate or whatever. But I think, again, it's just low enough opportunity cost, and there's so much potential from these that I want to take these. And I'll put these, I'll separate myself into 2 piles or 2 different decks to see what we're doing, just to make things more clear. So I think this is the smart pick, and yeah, especially with the signal. I think if I hadn't got the Steel Sabotage second to last pick, I would have been more hesitant to do this, but given that I think that's a signal, either people just don't understand how good Steel Sabotage is, or blue's open, I like picking definitely the Jace, and the Vishkal might have been a little greedy. It's possible I should have not hedged on this, because even if I end up in Esper, it's a little awkward. I don't want to be heavy black, I want to be heavier white if I'm in Esper, but I use the term Esper loosely. It's just usually what I mean to mean, not base red or green, or white is what I take to mean Esper, because that happens so rarely, so I just want to have a one all-encompassing term. So we end up taking one of these, and I do think it's reasonably correct, and then we get a Board Wipe. So, yep, and then I'm very happy I lock in. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Also a Path Exile here, which I might wheel and be happy about, and now I'm going to sort into 2 different piles to try and determine which one I'll play, but I think I'm hedging pretty heavily towards Esper here. So you see, look at that. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys an honest question, try to be honest with yourself. And I'm not trying to, like, power move or say, oh, I'm the smartest. I'm trying to say, I also want to say that I love this format, but because of this. But, like, it's so hard to notice this shit, which is why I'm glad I'm making content, which is why I'm hopefully glad that people are enjoying it. It's so hard to notice that. You have 2 playable cards, barely, Sphinx Summoner and Steel Sabotage. You open a Jace, which is very good, and a Vishkal, which is kind of off color, and suddenly you just audible to a deck that's pretty good with a decent number of playables for pack 2, right? With a board wipe and a lot of great shit. And you're just very happy. So, again, I'm not trying to like make a power move over everyone. I'm trying to just don't get complacent. I think that's my main advice is don't get complacent, because that's easy to get complacent and it can end up fucking you over pretty hard. Okay, now we get an interesting pick. I could take this Blightsteel, but, I mean, just no. If I'm going to be an Esper, it looks like I have enough win cons with the Jace, the Duplicate, and the Vishkal. Should be enough. So I can take Everflowing Chalice or Clockwork, I think, here. And I think I pretty just easily just go for Chalice. It kind of sucks that it's colorless mana, but ramping into Jace, Sphinx Summoner, Duplicate, Vishkal, Eviction just seems amazing. I don't usually like the 2-drops in blue or black, so having a 2-drop nice 2-drop ramp spell is nice. Ramping into Sift, although we don't have any yet. And when turn 2 Chalice, turn 3 Sift, it's just great, assuming you're not getting pressured. And hopefully we'll the Cogwork or the Quarter Monitor or whatever, like we did pack 1. Again, we got our last pick, Cogwork pack 1, so hopefully I will that. And then here's a Wrath of God. So, yeah. Obviously, I want to make it clear that this doesn't happen all the time. A, you won't always be able to hedge an Esper. And B, even if you do, you might not get as lucky as I did with a bunch of Wraths and Bombs. And then we get past a land tax. I didn't focus too much on this last pack because it's obviously Wrath of God. There's other Magic cards, but like it's just Wrath of God. So yeah, it doesn't always happen, but again, the opportunity cost is just pretty low, because even if I didn't get this Wrath, even if I get either of these Wraths, like I said, I could have just still been Junned. But now I got a land tax too, which is a good enough card on its own, but especially when we're playing Fixing and our mana's we need Fixing and our mana's greedy, and we want to hit all of our land drops, land tax just gets insane. Especially because right now, with 2 board wipes, I want to choose to be on the draw. I think I forget that later in the gameplay, but I should have chosen to be on the draw a lot more than I could. Especially with the land tax in my deck. And land tax is obviously great on the draw because, I mean, it just stops them from playing a land for a turn. And you can also just choose. It's like a stall, huh? It's like kind of like standstill in a way, right? So let's say your opponent plays a land on turn 1, you play a plains and a land tax. Your opponent can play a land and let you draw 3 cards, which you're very happy with, or they can not play a land and then pass to you, and then you get the choice. You get to choose whether to play a land or whether you want to keep passing and making them draw and stuff like that. And we get a pretty late 3rd Inspector. Given that I'm going to be base white, now that I have the land tax and the Wrath of God, I think it's pretty easy to Raven. Could also use the Yavimai's Embrace in case I end up being like short on win cons or value or whatever, but I'm just not passing 3rd Inspector. The card's too good. Especially with board wipes, you don't want to just pass, because it looks very suspicious if you just pass every turn. But if you're playing 3rd Inspectors, you're not losing value, but you're also like providing stuff on the board, and it looks like you're using your mana somewhat efficiently, and you're not just holding up a board wipe. So yeah, this deck's just looking real nice. I'm off Junned at this point, and I'm very happy with how the draft's going. I'm going to take a quick water break. Okay, let's skip ahead a little bit. Alright, now we get in the Chalice, very late, very happy with it. Our Praise Dragon, but we're just not looking to be in red at this point, and it doesn't really work as Fixing because you have to splash for it, which make our mana worse. I could also be taking Restoration at some point, but with only Duplicate and only one way to tutor for it, I think I'd much rather take Chalice just to ramp out my 4-drops or whatever, and have something to do, get extra mana. These things aren't great when my mana is kind of shit in terms of color sources, but it's just a good card, and ramping out Sift is just amazing if you get them. So it's definitely the pick, in my opinion. Let's skip ahead. Okay, and I just skipped ahead again. So now we get a Ichor Wellspring, a very late Ichor Wellspring, and a very late Heartless Pillage. Not very late Heartless Pillage, but very late Wellspring. I think I should have taken the Heartless Pillage. At this point, I'm locked in on Esper, probably splashing black, since we haven't seen much other than the Sphinx Summoner and the Merciless Eviction, and the Vishkal we opened, but it's kind of not worth splashing for, I don't think. So I think the Heartless Pillage is a little less good here, but the thing is, the Wellspring's also bad if we're not base black, because in blue and white, there's no way to sack this card. So it's just 2-minute draw card, and just doesn't have synergy. So that seems pretty awful. So I would have taken the Heartless Pillage for the sideboard here, but I end up taking the Wellspring, which is defensible. It is a much more powerful card in a vacuum. So we are going to choose between Divest and Yavimai's Embrace. I end up going for the Yavimai's Embrace, which I think is very correct. I like Divest, but again, it's only good in base black. At least you can splash the Heartless Pillage because it's 2 colorless mana, but you cannot splash Divest, right? You need black early to cast this card. You don't want to be top decking a black source and then, oh, I can finally cast my black spell. Okay, oh wait, you don't have a hand anymore. So we go for Yavimai's Embrace. It could be a good sideboard card, and we couldn't if we end up with we already have 2 board wipes, so if we end up without enough value or card draw or whatever win cons, then we can play this card if we really want to. We go to Corridor Monitor. Strangely, very, very strangely, we do not wield the Cogwork Assembler. But I also want to note, currently we do have an infinite combo in my deck, which I do not think I realized at the time, but I do. I have Cogwork Assembler, I have Everflowing Chalice, and I have Corridor Monitor. And that's literally an infinite combo. For those of you who don't work, if you get a Chalice with 7 counters on it, and you have a Cogwork Assembler in play, and a Corridor Monitor in play, you can pay 7, make a copy of the Corridor Monitor, untap your Chalice, tap for 7 again, do that. You make infinite 1/4s and kill your opponent, which is very sick. But unfortunately, we don't really have a way to get 7 counters on Chalice besides having 14 mana in play. But there's some nice common and uncommon ones. There's Core Tapper and the 1/4 for 3 and a blue that puts a charge counter on artifact during each upkeep. So they end up going for Metallic Rebuke over Grip Swap, which I think is correct pick, given that I have a duplicate for removal and 2 ward wipes, and a counter spell could end up being good in the right matchup, although I think I kind of forget about it. Just leave it on my sideboard. But that's alright. That's quite alright. So yeah, this deck's nice. This is, I love this deck. I love how this draft went. I love what a perfect example it is of my draft strategy, and why I think it works pretty well, because you almost always end up with a good deck that you could do pretty well with. Late Brainstorm, I guess. I don't know. All these cards are bad. Doesn't matter what I pick. Take a quick break. Let the draft go. Put the Optimizing Breaks on my sideboard. I mean, it's just very hard. Now I know what happens and how to play, but at the time, it's really hard to think about everything and to be safe. We got a very late Infuser, which I'm very happy to take now that I have the infinite combo. And yeah, I can just, it's not consistent, but it is a win con. So if we don't want to play this Dish Call and we just want to play a bunch of Ward Wipes, it's a win con. We get Charleston 7 counters, we wait it out, and then we do Assembler plus Quarter Monitor all in the same turn. Easy Treasure Mage, that's definitely one of the cards I'm picking, given that I have a duplicate that I want to tutor for. And then unfortunately the rest of this pack is just complete trash, and I don't know what to take. I think I don't realize it, which is why I don't take the Quarter Monitor, because I don't realize I have an infinite combo, but if I was thinking about the infinite combo, I would have definitely taken the Quarter Monitor. I ended up going for the Plunder because I have a Wellspring and a Thoroughbred Inspector. I guess I could sack the Thoroughbred Inspector during their end step and then board wipe, which is kind of nice. But given that I don't really want to be in base black here, I definitely should have taken the Quarter Monitor just to have an extra piece for the combo. If I'd wielded an Assembler and I'd taken a second Quarter Monitor, that would have been insane. I could have just like hard gone for the combo with multiple Assemblers, which would have been very, very sweet. This was the perfect deck for it, but it just didn't quite work out, unfortunately, and I also missed it. So I ended up going for the Plunder here. There's just nothing else to even consider. Small mistake, but not a big deal, and it's really hard to pay attention to everything while you're in a draft. But if chat wants to, if you want to comment that I'm an idiot, I won't blame you. All right, unfortunately, another really, really bad pack, which I feel bad about. Okay, so weird pick. The pack's horrible. Again, I'm gonna hedge. I'm gonna hedge because the pack's horrible, and I feel like I'm not enough playables. I say, okay, I've got multiple Ward Wipes, I've got lots of card draw, I've got 2 Everflowing Chalices, which would get me a lot of mana, which I already want to play. I've got the Mind Control on my sideboard. Why not just take a Genesis? That's a great win con. We can cut this Vish Cow, we can play this Yavimai's Embrace and this Genesis, and okay, we can just splash these. It's a little greedy on the mana, but I already want to play a bunch of lands to make sure I hit my land outs for board wipes, since if I don't miss my land outs, I kind of feel like I can't lose. So this just seems like a free equity card. Naturalist is good, but it's not really what I'm going to be splashing for, and it's not really a mana sink in the late game like Genesis. Genesis is a little underrated in my opinion. Even by me, I underrate it. I don't notice it as much as I do. I miss it a bunch, but I'm glad I noticed it here. And now, yeah, I can just go into this. I can cut the Vish Cow and just play this. I only need black for the 2 summoners. I only need green for these 2 cards. My mana's like not the worst. It's a little greedy, but it's not the worst. I've got the land tax. Hopefully I pick up a star or 2, but if not, it's not the end of the world. And I'm just feeling good with this draft. Shit. Every goddamn time I skip ahead. Okay, so here we get a Wellspring, which I'm not playing because I'm not playing heavy black. A Chromatic Star, which I just really want really badly for my splashes, and that's the only thing. Thought Reflection looks okay-ish since I don't really have the win cons or the things to do with my mana in the late game, but it's triple blue. If it was like double blue or single blue, which would make it easier to ramp off the Chalice, I might have considered it, but it's just a very easy star here. So yeah, I would take the star here, not too much to think about. Okay, Lulu? Okay. I just can't stop missing stuff. Then we get a late Blasphemous Act. So the shit's just open. It's just open. It's just so low equity to hedge, and then the payoff is so darn huge. Look at this nice deck. The payoff. All right. So yeah, easy Blasphemous Act. Nothing else here. We could splash it. We're already splashing a bunch of other shit. Like, why the hell not? We've got a land tax, which is amazing in our deck, obviously. But in reality, I probably wouldn't end up playing the Blasphemous Act, given that I already have two other Ward Wipes. The third Ward Wipe, obviously have very diminishing returns, because at some point your opponent runs out of equity, and also in games 2, if they see multiple Ward Wipes, they're going to actually play around it. Whereas if they only see 1 in game 1, then they probably won't play around it. Jesus Christ, I'm getting murdered. I'm getting murdered by the skip ahead. You guys keep seeing stuff. Maybe I should stop doing that. I know no one ever does, but if you see this and you feel a need to give feedback, I would always appreciate it. All right, so we've got easy Baleful Strix. Again, it just happens. It's just always just open. Not always open, excuse me. But when it's open, and you got lots of good shit late, and it's just beautiful. All right, so now we've got a Baleful Strix. So let's just run on. I want to list all the things that I've gotten late because I hedged. Because I hedged in case it was open and in case I opened the right stuff. I was judged early. I had no reason to be an Esper whatsoever. I ended up hedging because I opened a Jason, hedging a little bit more because I opened a Jason Vish Call. Immediately got past a Board Wipe. Got past another Board Wipe even later. And now I've gotten past a Blasphemous Act and a Baleful Strix. And that's just it. And a land tax as well. So, yeah. I don't know what to say. This is why you do this. This is the payoff, and I can't quite exactly show you examples of why the opportunity cost is really low for hedging, but you could just have to take my word for it that it is low to hedge. And by hedge, I want to be very clear. I don't mean actively take Esper cards. over good green, white, or green or red cards or white aggro cards. Don't actively do that. But if it's low opportunity cost, and by that I mean if there's nothing else that good, and it's a very powerful or a potentially very powerful card, in Esper colors, you should take it over taking some random mediocre sideboard card or some random mediocre card that might helpfully be your 23rd card or whatever, at least in this set. So I don't really want to go for the Salvagers because I only have 1 star, but given that Ferromantic kind of sucks in this deck, I did an artifact count, I think it was like 6 or 7 or something, and Salvagers could be good, because if I get Salvagers a star, it's just another combo. This deck is a lot of combos. Salvagers is awkward, but it's a 2/4 for 4 worst case, and if you draw the star with it, it's just amazing. It just pops off 3-minute draw card as much as I want, and this deck is real nice. I need that draw. Actually, getting Cresting Star for fixing is also kind of free multiple times. Guess I need it to splash the Fiction or the Embrace, the Genesis, or whatever. And there's another Wrath of God. I'm just in absolute disbelief. I pick it. I wish here. All right, Future Max, you gotta remember this. Don't pick your picks so quick so you have more time to talk about it when you voice over. But yeah, there's a stockpile here I could have taken too, but I'm obviously taking the Wrath of God. But even this one here, I would have gotten a late stockpile, Gargoyle, or Puzzle Knot, which are all pretty good in my deck. But yeah, I just got another Wrath of God, which is just absurd. And again, I want to be clear, this doesn't always happen. You don't always get this lucky. You don't always get as decks that are as sweet or as insane as this one. But sometimes you do, and they're almost always passable and better than the deck you would have gotten if you just forced. If you just forced whatever you were at the start. So yeah, looking like a nice deck. Now I'm definitely getting this Boss Mask. I don't even know why it's still in here, given that I already have 3 board wipes and there's very heavy diminishing returns. And my mana is already shit. These cards are all bad, doesn't matter. Take whatever, they're not being ended up in my deck. Skip ahead, hopefully I don't miss anything. Okay, and I almost did. I wheeled this very late Thought Provocation, which is very, 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 very sweet. I could end up playing this, and I have 3 board wipes. The mana's a little shit, but being able to rip it out with Chalice is kind of nice, and it's got a lot of potential over the rest of these, which is shit. So yeah, you just get like good stuff. I think I ended up playing it. I'm not sure if it's correct. I kind of just want to meme a little bit. It's very sweet with Jace because you get to draw 6 and only put 2 back. It's very unfortunate we didn't get any Sifts this draft. Sift would have gone a long way to smoothing our draws because even though we do have lots of board wipes, our card advantage is a little lackluster. And we're relying more on these big heavy hitters late game than we are on actual card advantage, which isn't great. Excuse me, everyone. So yeah, I'll skip ahead a little bit, but I want a lot of lands in this deck. My mana's shit, so I'm definitely cutting this Blacksmith's Act. I don't really want this Metallic Rebuke, I don't think. I'm not even sure if I want the Seal Sabotage main deck, because, again, I've got the interaction with the 3 board wipes. I feel like I more need card advantage. I need to make sure I hit my land drops, and that my mana isn't shit. And the upside of Metallic Rebuke and Seal Sabotage is very low compared to the downside of having a Gelatin Genesis or a Yavimai's Embrace that I can't cast stuck on my hand, either because I don't have enough lands in play or because I don't have the green mana. And same for Summoner and Eviction and Baleful Strix. So I'll skip ahead a little bit, but I end up cutting the Rebuke, the Sabotage, and the Blacksmith's Act, and just firing off 19 lands. Again, sounds weird. It might be counterintuitive to the rule of always play 17 lands in Limited or close to it, or never more, but this is just a 19 land deck. Even with double Chalice, it's just a 19 land deck. I would have killed for another Cogwork to both copy, just for as a mana sink, and also to copy Strix or Duplicate for value, and also the combo piece, but didn't wheel, unfortunately. And also I didn't notice that I could have taken another Monitor, which is insane, which would have been sick. So yeah, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. That's what I ended up doing. I'll just tell you ahead of time. I put the Sphinx in. Wait, what did I do here? I put the Sphinx in and I cut something I shouldn't have? Or maybe I actually ended up playing the Sphinx. I don't know what I cut. Shit. Well, that's a kick W. Alright, well, I got something I might not have been. I ended up adding the lands, and this is what I fire off. I'm not sure about the Scouter or Sphinx, but I felt like I had board wipes and I wanted some value, and Scry is kind of value in this deck because we were already playing a bunch of lands, and being able to Scry lands at the bottom or lands that you don't need because you need certain colors is pretty valuable. Normally, I don't think Scry. Usually, I'm not a huge fan of Scry in this format. I don't feel like it's necessary or very valuable, but in this deck, Scrying is very valuable. So I think I like the Sphinx on more consideration. I say this every time, and I'm going to say it again right now. Spend more time on deck construction. It's just free. Spend more time on deck construction. So we are on the draw, which is great, and we've got a great hand. All our colors, we've got currently can't cast Wrath of God, although we'd have to pop the star, which has been unfortunate. And it's just Snap Geef. I'm not sure why I'm even thinking about this. Not sure. Maybe I'm AFK. Okay, so they go land pass. We go star pass. They go land pass again, and we're just playing the land go game, which very much favors me. And I have 2 board wipes and a duplicate. So I gotta make sure not to get too greedy here with my board wipes, because you might be tempted to like save your board wipe for a 3 for 1 or whatever. But I think with 2 in my hand, I should easily just take a 2 for 1, maybe even a 1 for 1. And obviously, well, not obviously to everyone, but yeah, I should definitely am going to and should hold this Cogwork somewhere because I have multiple board wipes to cast, and it's a great value engine late game with the duplicate. So there's just no reason to run it out here. I think about it, which is dumb. Like, if my opponent had played a 2-drop and a 3-drop here, then sure, I might need to run it out to live and debate them into playing more stuff. But given that they haven't played anything here, I just do not play the Cosmic Assembler. Like, let's just run through a scenario. Let's say I play the Assembler, and then they play a 3-3, a Cosmic Predator, let's say, and then they play a 4-4. And now my Cosmic Assembler is just sitting there, doing nothing, impacting the board not whatsoever, and I still have to board wipe, and I just lost it for free, right? Whereas if they had some 2-2s in play, because they played a 2 and a 3-drop, then it would be a lot more valuable. Okay, so I go land pass, they go Predator pass, I go land pass again, because I'm looking for 2 for 1, it's only 3 damage here. Then I think next turn I'll go for the Wrath, and then the turn afterwards I'll have Eviction or Duplicant or whatever. Maybe I'll pass again. We'll see, that's a little greedy though. Hopefully I don't pass again. Shit. Okay, they go Angel, hit me for 5. I feel like I definitely need to Wrath, so I pop the star for mana, and then I play my land. Now I've got Sphinx Summoner, which is great because it can tutor for the Baleful Strix, which is very good value, and now I'm very happy because I was able to draw out of it, basically. I think at the start I was worried that I wouldn't be able to get enough value out of my Rats alone, but now that I've drawn a bunch of good value stuff, I'm feeling much better. So here I'll probably just jam the Summoner and look for Strix, and then if they overcommit next turn to try and beat the Strix, then I can Merciless Fiction, and if they don't, I can play like Strix plus Duplicate and just hold the board wipe. And now I just I'm nutted for the late game. I'm just super well set up for the late game, and I can't quite lose it. I could even go for Eviction here just to kill their 1 creature, but that doesn't seem worth it whatsoever. Next turn's a little awkward because I'm not quite able to use my mana super efficiently, right? I can't go Strix plus board wipe or Strix plus Duplicate, so I have to go Strix plus Assembler or just one of these 6-drops, which is a bit awkward because I don't really want to board wipe currently, and I don't really want to Duplicate anything they have currently, but it's fine. I think this is still the correct play because there was really nothing better. Could have made 2/2/2s to contest their board, but no, this seems a lot better. They'll attack here. I'm very happy to block here because I want to board wipe anyway, so if they use a combat trick and then play a creature, I'm happy to Merciless Eviction, and then I should just be in good spot when they're out of value. Yeah, I think the gameplay is not too important. I'll do the gameplay for this one in case people like it. If you like the gameplay, comment. If you don't, either comment or DM. Sorry. If you like it, comment or DM me. If you don't, you can still comment or DM me, or you can just not say anything because I'll probably stop doing it if no one tells me that they want to. If no one tells me that they want the gameplay, I'll just stop doing it because it's a big pain for me, and it also might even be detracting from my viewership because it takes so darn long to watch. Easy board wipe, kill all the creatures, they only have 1 card left, game's over. Next turn I can go Strix plus Duplicate, and the next turn after that I can make a huge Genesis, I can like do Cogwork and then threaten to start Cowbane Duplicate, and the game's just fucking over. Not just think about putting Screen White creatures, have a board wipe deck, and the game's over. Perfect mana too, lucky me. Couldn't even play Genesis for 3 here, but like why? I can do it for 4 next turn, and 16 power is probably gonna be game. I think I should just go for the Cogwork here. I could see going for the Duplicate, but I think I'd rather save it, because if I go for the Duplicate and then I play the Cogwork and kill it, then I'm out of removal spells. And I don't really need to kill this 2/2 at all. So I'll just play the Cogwork. It stops their board. I've got a Strix in case they kill it or whatever. And I'm feeling pretty good right now. Just can't quite lose. It's obnoxious, but totally fine. They kill the Assembler. We block Strix on the 2/2. We Duplicate their 4/4, or we just make 4/4/4s. Probably the latter. We just make 4/4/4s. That should probably win the game, and then we have Duplicate in case they play anything too big for the 4/4s to get by. And the game's still just over. I mean, it's a little closer now, but Alright, okay, change of plan. Now we're... Okay, hold on, Max. Yeah, there you go. Change of plan. Now we're doing Chalice for 3 plus Duplicate, and the next turn we have a giant Genesis for like 5. And if they even have like a Naturalist or a way to kill Chalice, they would certainly rather kill my 4/4 because they don't know we have a Genesis in hand. Because why the hell would we? Our deck's just weird. You also just get people with this type of deck. It's not really a reason to play it, but it is very sweet that you just get people randomly, because who the fuck is expecting 4-color board wipes in this set, or 4-color Shroom nonsense, or whatever, and that was not for them. They didn't even need to see the Genesis. That was enough. Bit of a loose conceit on their part. Maybe they couldn't have been stream sniping because I was recording this. I wasn't streaming. Not much sideboard here. We didn't see very much from them. They're playing green-white creatures. We have 3 board wipes. We could do stuff maybe if I thought about it enough, but it doesn't seem like we have anything. Good Druid Plasma Sack, I guess, but even then, board wipes still don't really want to draw more than 1 board wipe here. No, just not more than 2. And then if I have 4, I could draw more than 2 hypothetically, or I could be able to not cast triple Act, which is really awkward. Again, Act you kind of need it when it's good. You can't top deck it later. You can't top deck the right mana sources for it later. Same with most board wipes. Alright, let's skip ahead. Alright, so I did not show you the hand I kept, but it was a pretty easy keep. I've got lands and spells. It's awkward we don't have blue mana, but I've got a Threadbane Inspector into Pop It, into Assembler, or into Hallowed Wrath of God, and I just can't mulligan. I chose to be on the... Wait. No, I didn't choose to be on play, luckily. Yeah, I think I forgot that I was supposed to be on the draw, or didn't realize I was supposed to be on the draw, but this is definitely a deck that wants to be on the draw with all my board wipes and my mana troubles. Drew a Chalice, which is nice, but I think I just cracked the clue here, because I might want a Chalice for 4 to ramp out, like, the Coward Assembler activations or whatever. Whatever. There's ways to use my mana. I don't need to explain that to you guys, I don't think. So yeah, if they don't play anything next turn, I can go like Assembler, or if they play like a 2-3, or I can just try and go for the board wipe again. A 1-1 is interesting. I'll probably just pass here. They play something, and then I board wipe. I could see going for the Assembler, though. Yeah, maybe the Assembler was worth it. I don't know. I kind of like... And it doesn't do much on its own, so no, it's fine. And it buys me a lot of time. I guess if these with the Assemblers, they could play like 2 creatures, and then attack with a 3-3, and if I double walk, I get blown up by like a combat trick. Like a squirrel would make 2 creatures, or this thing. And now if I double walk, they get blown up by a combat trick. I guess I'm board wipe then, but yeah. So I guess I go for the double walk, and if they have the combat trick, I'll board wipe. Or for the pass is also good. I can go Chalice here, and then I can go Chump. So this actually worked out okay. So maybe this line was correct. So now I can go Chalice for 2, and the next turn I can go board wipe plus Strix, and hopefully they overcommit, and I get Chump so I don't take damage. And they're just looking to run out of cards. And as soon as we draw as soon as we draw a blue source, we get Jason play. As soon as we draw a green source, we get a huge Genesis, and they die. And we're just in great shape here. Obviously, this is a great matchup for us, but this is why the deck's powerful. Okay, they're spending removal spells on my creatures when I have a Horde up in hand. I'm very happy with this. I could have not jumped to not tell them that, to try and protect the information that I have a board wipe. I probably should have done that actually for 3 mana, but I'm not for 3 damage. I'm not sure, but I don't think they would have played around it regardless. So I think this plays fine. So yeah, we definitely just go for the board wipe here plus Strix, and then hopefully that's enough defense to jam Jace next turn. Then we draw our island. If we draw a forest at any point, we just get to kill them with the Genesis, like I told you. So with the Quarter Monitor, unfortunately, we don't have multiple blue sources, so we can't do Quarter Monitor plus Jace. It was a bit awkward. Jace is obviously a very powerful card, but it is a little awkward in this deck. But being able to go Wrath of God plus Jace in the same turn would have been nice. Maybe I should have saved it. Yeah, maybe I should have saved it another turn. If I'd saved the Jace another turn, I could have gone Jace plus Wrath of God in the same turn. But luckily they didn't play anything, so the Jace is just going to stick and the game's going to be over. Yeah, so the game's just fucking over here. We're just going to start drawing cards. Land tax, great. And they already have 6, so I can just choose to not play a land here. I can put two planes on top. I can play the land tax, and then I get a guaranteed trigger next turn. Have to miss a land drop, but it's a lot of card draw, so I think it's worth missing a land drop here. And fixing as well, even though I do already have the star. Wait, what the hell did I just do? Put back the monitor? Okay, well, sorry about that, folks. That was that was bad. I should just put 2 lands back, given that I was going to be able to tutor for 3 with land tax. That was not what I needed to do. That was just super loose. Especially given that I have the quote-unquote infinite combo in my deck, which I don't attack there because I figure their life total isn't particularly relevant, at least not for 1 damage, and they could have another haster. They could have the 2/2 haste that makes them 1/1. So it's just free value not to attack there, I think. Okay, they play some trash. Throwing Genesis for like 3. I don't care. I mean, actually, I kind of do care. That's not true, but I can bounce 1 with the Jays. I can block 1 with the Strix, and I can play my own Genesis for... I guess I'm going to play it my own for 3. So maybe I'll just hold the Genesis and just do bounce block and then hope to draw something off the Jace. Oh, yeah, it's a bit awkward. So if I kept Quarter Monitor, I'd be in a lot better spot. Like, okay. And they just concede. They just had enough. Alright, fair enough. I think my opponent was tilted by the double board wipe from game 1. So that was pretty sweet. We'll skip ahead to the next match. Yeah, the skip button is amazing here. Okay, so we've got a hand. It's not great, but I just don't like mulliganing with this deck, given that I have 3 board ups drawn too. So if I can't play spells for a little while, it's not a huge deal. Play the star here, pass. I probably won't play Quarter Monitor next turn because it's more important that I get the blue source for my other cards, or I draw blue source for Jace. So I think I'm just gonna hold it here. It's a bit awkward now. Actually, now maybe I will. Now that I played Chatter, having a 1/4 play, it saves a lot of life at this point. So maybe I do. I'm not sure. I think I should. I think I don't, but I think I should. At least now I think I should. Whatever, I'll skip ahead and we'll see. I do not. Okay, they flash back the squirrel, we draw land, and now I'm like, alright, I guess I have to go for it. Now I just have to put this 1/4 in play, I don't know. Because, like, what am I doing next turn? I'm playing a different 1/4, this Vidalcan Infuser. I guess it's more mana efficient, because in the future, if I draw an island, I only spend 2 mana to get a 1/4 down, but I think I just do it now on the off chance that I draw a blue source or whatever next turn. So we're not drawing very well. We drew a bunch of cards we can't cast and that are not board wipes instead of fixing or whatever. So that's unfortunate, but shit happens. Can't play Force to Pass. That's great for us, obviously. And we draw Wrath. I chose not to block there because I was worried about... Wait. Why didn't I block? Wait, what? Clear Shot. I was worried about Clear Shot. Okay, no, that's correct. I didn't block because I was worried about Clear Shot. Because I didn't want to change... It seemed like they might not have anything to play that turn, so I didn't want to get blown out by Clear Shot. And by blown out, I mean I didn't want to exchange Clear Shot for my 1/4. And I figured I'd rather do this turn where I can make them use their mana on turn where they just have something else to do. Instead of having 3 Forest in play. But... Maybe I just punted. I think play was fine. Yeah, I'll just pass again. If they attack with... They only have 2 damage per turn with the squirrels. If they want to use a Clear Shot to kill my Quarter Monitor, that's great. That's more value. I get my Wrath of God. And I just really need to buy time here to find my mana, my right colors, and more lands for duplicates as well. So yep, I'm just passing. Okay, they tackle everyone and play another Predator. Totally fine with me. I block this. If they use a combat trick, I'm very happy because then I get to Water Wipe. Although they might use a combat trick on a 1/1 Squirrel, yeah, which is bad. So now they hit us for a bunch of damage for the Water Wipe, which is smart of them to play around it, I guess. It's kind of free value. You know, we definitely have to Water Wipe and we're at 7, so a little risky, but we're looking okay on value. But we really needed the minimum land next turn to play the duplicate and stabilize, and much preferably would be a blue source so we can like Treasure Mage or Infuser. Although, like, what are we casting with that blue source? We really need second blue source to start casting our heavy hitters like Jace or hopefully Yavimai's Embrace. Cobra doesn't do much. Hopefully I draw a blue source so I can just play the Treasure Mage to threaten to block it because I don't really want to duplicate it, but I will if I have to next turn. Or I'll just draw another blue card and pass and be kind of tilted. So, I mean, I think the keep was fine, but we just got kind of unlucky. We had lots of draws. We had 7 draws, and none of them were blue sources. Shit happens, though. Now they have Sword, too, and we're just pretty dead. I guess I can draw a land and go duplicate, but now then they'll play Predator, and then I'll have a bunch of things to equip with the Sword, too, and I'm just pretty fucked. To put it crudely, I am pretty fucked. Alright, so now I just concede, tilt concede, and they're dead, so that's really unfortunate, and that sucks, and yeah. Also, Sword and Light Shadow is really bad for us, so maybe I should have boarded. I think I forgot to play around it, but I should have boarded in the Seal Sabotage to be able to bounce it, slash just hopefully even counter it, because the card is so rough for us. The awkward part is that they played zero other artifacts, so otherwise the card's dead, but it can bounce Duplicate if it needs to. It can bounce Strix, like, through a Board Wipe or whatever, or through a Counterspell. She's going to draw, which is smart. I draw a hand with Chalice and Star, and Salvagers, which is pretty great. Might as well awkward, but as long as I do a single blue source or a single white source, we should be in pretty good shape. Squirrels are annoying, but it should be okay, hopefully. Border up 2, which is pretty good, but not great because I do have a lot of creatures that I want to keep in play for as long as possible. But it's fine. So we can go Chalice, and then if we draw a white source or blue source, turn afterwards we can play one of our 4-drops. We can play the Infuser to put more counters on our Chalice. I don't know why I'm going to have 6 tier. I must have been AFK or something. We'll skip ahead a little bit. They play... Okay, so we skipped ahead a little too much. They flashback the Squirrel and pass. We put a land in the Chalice, and then they played a land in the Sword, and now we're very scared of the Sword. Hopefully, we drew a white source, and now we can go Salvagers, luckily. Although I think I'm actually going to go for the Infuser because I want to get more mana on the Star. So yeah, I actually like the Infuser here because then I get more mana on my Chalice, and then I can use that mana to do Salvagers. So next turn I can go Salvagers plus get back the Star, which is pretty good mana efficiency. And hopefully the Sword won't fuck us up too bad, but it's pretty scary here. If they kill the Infuser, we're dead. Not dead, but luckily it isn't actually getting value. It's only gaining them life because they don't have creatures in the graveyard, so I'm not actually too scared of it. They give it to the Cobra, so next turn we'll just take 4 with the Cobra, and hopefully the value off the Salvagers will be enough. But yeah, it's really bad against us because it just stops us from chumping. Threadwind Victor can't chump it. Baleful Strix can't chump it. We can't block with the 3/3 flyer, the artifact flyer, the tutors, and it's just awkward. That's a fine draw, but not great. Yeah, I really need the answers to Sword, which I just don't have. So we'll try to win this game, but we'll see. Get back the Star, and then we can go, like, play Star, crack it. We can just draw 2 more cards off Stars next turn if we really want to. It was fine. I'm kind of... I thought that them playing that pre-combat meant that they were going to attack with the Squirrels, but they just didn't, which is kind of weird. I definitely would have attacked with at least 1 Squirrel there to try and just draw a card, because I'm pretty sure my opponent would be happy to exchange 1 Squirrel for 1 card there, but they decided not to. So this turn actually I can go Star plus Sphinx, I believe. Yeah, I think I can. Because I get an extra mana from the Infuser, putting counters in the Chalice. So that combo is just being nice on its own, which is pretty sweet. Big game 3, not a huge deal. We're taking some damage, and I'm kind of worried about dying, but looking okay. They only have 2 cards left, and we've got our engine starting to rev up. We've got some nice cards to draw. If we draw the Mind Control, it's great. If we draw the... For the Mind Control, it's great. If we draw Gelatin Synthesis, the game's kind of just over. Board ups are nice. We could exile artifacts if we really want to get rid of the Sword. Netherlands is not what I was looking for, so we're going to just go Sphinx plus Star Pop and get it back. Yep, that's what I do. And leave a way to get it back. I don't remember how I scry, which I probably should have checked. So I guess we'll go back and see how I scry. Alright, Inspector on the top. I should put this on the bottom. I don't remember where I put it because unfortunately I can't see whether I put it on top or bottom here, but I think I should have put it on bottom because of the Sword and Light Shadow, so I can't really chump with it. It's kind of nice to block Squirrel, but it's a lot of mana to pop it, where that mana could just go towards Salvager instead. So if I put it on top, I think that was a big mistake. Well, I have Salvager in play at least. But I'm not certain. Yeah, so they go for the squirrel just to chump. I say I don't really want to take damage here. I'm much less worried about you having cards than I am about me dying, and I'll take my 4 here. I go for a double block in case they have the +4, +3, the +1/+1 for each creature you have. But then on second thought, I decide I really want to keep this Enforcer or this Infuser, and then if they want to exchange that combat trick for my Clouders Sphinx, I'm pretty happy to. Which they did end up having it. Maybe the double block was better because they probably don't understand how good the Infuser is here for me, even with the Salvagers. So they might have just killed the Sphinx anyways, and I would have just killed the 1/1 for free. So maybe that was loose, but I mean whatever. An extra 1/1 isn't a big deal, I don't think. So they're running out of value. That's kind of good. They're drawing cards at this Deathwreak Ritual, but we're looking to pull ahead. We've got lots of mana. We can use the Salvagers a lot now, and we're looking pretty good for this game. A little worried about dying. Do need to find a way to answer the sword or answer all their creatures. I could board wipe, but I don't really want to because I want to keep with the Salvagers and the Infuser. I can also try and combo at some point with the infinite combo here, which might end up being able to do. Or I could just draw Genesis and the game could be over. So let's try and get cast Genesis for what, 4? I should probably just do that. Yeah, I mean, I should just fire this off. Maybe not. If I wait till next turn, I can do it for 5, which is a lot more. But 4 is probably enough to stall for me to win. The issue here is if I do this now and then they kill the Salvagers, we're kind of in mediocre shape. So it's possible I should just pass, taking my lumps, taking an extra 4, and then turn afterwards and for 5. And that's going to actually kill them. Whereas this just stalls, the other one actually kills them. Like, it's a little hard for me to get in now. I guess I can block the Cobra on the Ooze, and then they recruit to the Predator, and then it's a 5/5, and we can't attack. So that's why this play might have been a little bit loose. I think I was just too excited about my draw and went for it. They decided not to even trade the Cobra for the Ooze, which seems pretty loose given they would have gotten a draw card. So I'm not sure why they made this play, but it's fine. I'm okay with it. I simply pass. Maybe not. They sack that to draw a card. Okay, so they're already anyways. So that's why they did that. Okay, I guess that's fair. But still, trading the Ooze for the Cobra seems like good value anyways. At least to me. Okay, they draw a card. I also could have gone for the board wipe. Yeah, this play was just super loose. I could have gone for the board wipe before I went for the Ooze. Like, I could have gone, draw a bunch of cards this turn, maybe chump, and the next turn I could have gone board wipe, plus 2 Salvagers a bunch, and the turn afterwards I could have gotten Genesis for, like, 6, I think, which would have obviously just killed my opponent. That's 36 power. That's a lot of power for one card. And it's hard, and you can't really chump walk it because it's 6 unique creatures. So I had filters in the blue, just start going for Salvagers. We're drawing lots of lands, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's okay. We're stable on board. We get to use the Salvagers a bunch. The only real punish there is if they kill our Salvagers, so it's not a big deal. But that was still a bad play, so don't make that play at home, kids. Ooh, Chalice kind of intriguing. I could play it here for more mana, but I think I want to save it for next turn to make it super big. And that way I actually have the combo left in my deck, too. So yeah, I could definitely combo off this game. Looking like I have a good stall line set up. I am looking for win cons, so we already used our Genesis because I'm stupid. We don't really have other win cons, so looking like a combo game, actually, which is pretty sweet. So we'll draw some more cards. So we won't play the Chalice. We drew a Strix, which we played, and we played the Star. We drew another card. We drew the board wipe, so yeah, we're in great shape. We got double board wipe. We're going to have a Chalice for what, like, I have 6 plus. Can I have a Chalice for 7 next turn? Yeah, we already have the Chalice for 7 next turn. So we have infinite colorless mana. We've got the 2 pieces in the deck, plus we have Sphinx Summoner to tutor for them. If we draw Sphinx Summoner, we can insta-combo. Because Sphinx Summoner can tutor for the 3-drop. We can play the 3-drop. We can copy the Sphinx Summoner. The Sphinx Summoner copies through the quarter monitor, and then they die. So looking good for combo scenario. Looking like we're not dead anytime soon. And I'm just feeling good here. I've got a board up if I want. If I really want to, I could fire off this board up to kill the sword, but I don't really care about the sword at this point, so I'm just going to try and turbo combo here. Okay, so we traded the Strix for the Cobra and double walked the 5/5. Seems fine. Happy to trade the Ooze for the Predator. I don't really want to take any damage there, given that there's not really a reason to, given that I have board wipes anyways. Could just fire off the board wipe here if I really wanted to, but eh. I'll probably just play a big Chalice. Oh, did they kill my... Oh, they clear shotted... Oh, I missed that. They clear shotted my Salvagers at some point. Shit. Yeah, skipping ahead's kind of rough. Let me know if this detracts from your experience. Yeah, so at some point they must have clear shotted my Salvagers, which is actually really, really bad for me since I was going to have a bunch of mana, which now doesn't really work anymore. That's a good draw, but I'm just going to play a huge... Oh, actually, I can do both. I can play a huge Chalice, and then I can also duplicate in the same turn, which is actually pretty great. And then, unfortunately, we're now at a card draw, which is unfortunate, but given that we're stable on board, we should have enough time to win. It'll probably be fine. But yeah, losing the Salvagers there was really rough. That's a good example of why we put the Salvagers in the deck out. It might have looked shitty given that we only had Star, but if you just draw the Star, then suddenly the card's just insane. Like, that combo was just insane. It just, like, drifts like 5 or 6 cards that game. So I choose not to go for the duplicate because I say, what do I care? I've got board wipes anyway, so I want to save it for after board wipe, which I think is smart in hindsight, given that they're probably going to overcommit into board wipes. And we play the first board wipe, and then they play another creature, we play second board wipe, and then after that we can duplicate their next threat, and then threaten to block with it. Skip ahead, they make some trades. We like trade off 2 4/4s for their 3/3. They make some tokens. I don't give a shit. I know 2 Chalices on 7, so that way I can combo even if they kill one of them. I draw Treasure Mage, which is just a 2/2 since the duplicate's gone, but that's fine. We'll run it out and pass probably. Could also have held it for after a board wipe, but oh, we just go for the board wipe here. Why? Because I'm worried about them going wide. Why did I play the board wipe here? Oh, enchantments, because I want to kill the ritual. Okay, that's smart, actually. Yeah, exchanging for ritual is good. You can cut him off the card draw. Okay, smart max. I have to pee. I'll be honest, I have to pee right now. I might take a pee break after this and then record later. Alright, you guys just watch the gameplay. I'm gonna pee. I really don't want to edit. I'm so lazy. I don't even want to edit like 2 clips together. I did that last time. It was fine. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Maybe I'll just edit it out. We'll see. I'm gonna pee. Alright, I am back-ish. What happened? I ask as if I didn't play this gameplay like just a short while ago. Okay, so they played A-Bomb. I don't care. I can chop it a bunch while I'm waiting. I've got a Wrath of God, which also says can't be generated very, very conveniently. We've put the Treasure Mage out. We've got a land tax, which is great because we get to thin our deck a bunch. I'll probably continue to miss land drops to make sure I actually get this land tax. Keeps going because I want to thin my deck more than I want to make land drops in play. I already have infinite mana with these chalices. Figurative infinite mana at least. I could duplicate the A-Bomb, but again, just why? I got a bunch of jump blockers. I can wait. There's just no reason to. So this game's just over. Luckily, I have the infinite combo deck. Otherwise, I'm worried about decking myself, but it seems unlikely they're able to interact with it profitably. If they have removal spells, they'll probably just fire them off on the users or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to expect that. So yeah, we'll just chump. We don't give a shit. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried about removal spells here. But we can go board wipe into duplicate, and we can go board wipe into duplicate into like the mind control, which also might be able to win the game on its own. It's a bit awkward that we're running out of cards, but yeah, we've also got Jace as a win con. We just plus them as long as we draw them early enough that we plus them until they die. So yeah, we should be fine on win cons here. And they're dead. As I discussed earlier, we play the Sphinx Summoner, we tutor for the copier, we play the copier, we copy the Sphinx, we tutor for the 1/4, and then they die. And the 1/4 can also untap the Chalice in case we don't have mana. So that's pretty sick. Yeah, this is so sick. It's not as hype after I already explained it earlier, but I hit him with my camera. Sorry, guys. There's been a land tax at the bottom that you guys can't see. Sorry about that, boys. Guys, people, I don't know, gender neutral collective. Anyways, yeah, so they're just dead. And that's that. Hopefully they can't kill my Cogger Assembler. I'll be pretty pissed, but, I mean, shit happens. What am I going to do? Could also copy their sword there and gotten a bunch of value as well. I guess if they copied my... Oh, that would be sick. So actually here, if they copied my... If they killed my Cogger Assembler, I would have copied their sword, equipped it to the hasty Sphinx Summoner, replayed it, and then killed them anyway, and killed them the next turn. Assuming they didn't have two removal spells. So they figured out they're dead, which is sick. We got the infinite combo off, boys. Very sweet. So yeah, that's another reason to make this into a video. Yeah, this was just a perfect video. This was just a perfect draft for a video. Video stuff might not have been perfect. Might not be perfect, but it was a perfect draft for the video, which is gas. So yeah, I kind of want to board than Seal Sabotage now, but again, we got literally nothing else. So I don't feel like I can. Maybe the Rebuke is worth it just to stall, but they're not really an aggro deck. I'm more worried about like losing the late game to the sword. So maybe I should have boarded than Seal Sabotage just because if I'm down one card, it's better than losing to a sword. But I don't know. It's very awkward. We'll see. Hopefully they just won't draw a sword. I know whether they draw a sword or not. You guys don't. I hold all the power. Okay, they go first, which is great for us. Just can't mulligan. Just can't. Keep. Play a star, play a chalice. Hopefully draw an island at some point so we don't have to use the star because I want to save it for like mana fixing. Although our mana is kind of perfect as soon as we draw a single island. Although we do have the Thought Reflection, which would need multiple islands. Probably play chalice for one here. We'll see what we draw though. Okay, definitely playing chalice for one then, since then next turn I can start putting counters on it. Although it is awkward that I have to use my only blue source for that, but it's fine. Hopefully we will draw a Sphinx Summoner, an island eventually for the Summoner. Summoner can get Strix or whatever, or could even get the 2/3 so that I can try and copy the Summoner for more value. And they have Sword on turn 3, of course, and I'm not feeling great about this game anymore. I went from feeling pretty good to feeling dead. Even though they're not getting value out of it, I just don't feel great. It's possible I should have just fired off the Wrath here just to kill one threat, but I decided to like maybe they run out of threats, maybe they like run out of other threats, and we're able to buy enough time that the Wrath of God gets there. But it is awkward. I don't really want a Wrath because I have the Infuser in play. I don't want to make a big Chalice. Infusers are really my only way to make a big chalice here, unfortunately. Weird attack. I definitely can't go for the block, even though I'd kind of like to, since they clearly have something to do with their mana. But yeah, Divines are Chalice, bit obnoxious. I guess smart that they boarded it in because they see our infinite combo, so fair enough on them. Good play. We can't play any of our spells, so we pass turn. Very sad. Could have attacked for one there for relatively free, but it didn't quite seem worth it. Probably look like they're stuck on lands. That's our saving grace. Actually, I could go for the attack. I might be able to race with like the Sphinx Summoner. Although gaining 3 life every turn is really rough. So yeah, they'll probably equip an attack. We'll play the Summoner, maybe get Baleful Strix for value. Since we don't have a bunch of mana anymore. If we had all the mana off Summoner, that would have actually been very, or off the Infuser, would have actually been amazing because we could have used the 2/3 a bunch. But no, sir. So we'll tutor for something, and then maybe we'll have to Wrath. I don't know. I could just Wrath here and hope they don't have another threat. Given that they haven't played a land for the last couple of turns, they could just have nothing to play. Again, we can't chop with these. It's just rough. This sword is just fucking us. We're on a 3-turn clock. We just got nothing to do here. It's very sad, unfortunately. Maybe I should get Quarter Monitor so I can chomp since the Strix can't actually chomp. I'll get Duplicant. Oh, duh, I get Duplicant. Duh. I hope I get Duplicant. Yeah, I get Duplicant the cover, and then hopefully after that they have no threats. And that way I get to keep my board wipe. But yeah, it's actually kind of unfortunate that they're missing land drops because it inherently plays around Wrath of God, whereas otherwise we'd be able to get all their cards out and then Wrath of God and then strand the sword, or make it awkward to only like 1 or 2 creatures to equip to. But as it stands, the Wrath's not going to do much because we had to play out our spells, or we would have just died at this one threat, and they're not playing more threats because they don't have lands for it, which is actually really unfortunate. Make a squirrel, make another squirrel. It's totally fine with me. It's a bit annoying now they have more threats, but it gets a card out of their hands in case we want a Wrath of God. Yeah, it makes the Duplicant a lot worse here, actually, which is pretty awkward. But I still definitely think I go for it because otherwise I'm just taking 4 every turn. This way I can block the squirrel with my 1/4 if they re-equip, which I don't really give a shit about, as opposed to having a chump. And I can start hitting them, clocking them. But these are like, what is my game plan here? I'm not stable on board. If they ever draw land, they're just gonna like pound us with a bunch of threats. The sword is gonna stay around the whole game, and I'm just kind of not feeling great. I think my best out is hoping they miss land drops and then like just going for an embrace, just a natural embrace. Before the border up and just holding the border up and trying to kill them, but they're at a lot of life because the sword's been gaining the life, so it's just not a great spot for me, unfortunately. And they've shown us, I think, at least 1 clear shot, maybe 2, to be able to kill like the Infuser and pump the squirrel, which is really awkward. So that sucks. It's kind of a rough loss. Just don't really know what happened. Just kind of we drew awkwardly. They drew their sword on turn 3. Actually, they missed land drops, which is actually bad for us in this scenario because we have so many board wipes, which they don't know about. I think they only know about 1 or 2. But shit happens. What are you gonna do? They attack, we definitely go for the block. If they want to exchange this for a combat trick, I'm not happy about it, but I can't really play around it, or they'll just kill me with it, so it's fine. Yeah. Got a Duplicant, which I guess is a chumper here. I could embrace at some point, embrace one of these, but it's kind of rough. That's a very nice draw. If they don't have a removal spell, then I'm actually in great shape now. So that's pretty lucky. Because yeah, if I start copying Duplicants, that's a great answer to sword. It's just exiling other creatures. The unfortunate part is that we cannot actually exile squirrels because they are tokens, and Duplicant does say non-tokens, but it does make a chumper at the very least and start killing some of their creatures, so it's still a great draw, don't get me wrong. Yeah, the board up's looking a little stranded here, so it's actually, yeah, I can't stress enough how, I don't really want to talk about how unlucky I get, but I can't stress enough how it's actually, it's funny. It's more that I want to note that it's funny than complain, but it's funny that it's actually bad for us that our opponent got mana screwed, because them flooding or even just drawing a normal amount of lands would have been much better, because they'd play other threats out at a normal pace instead of relying on the sword, probably, I hope, and then we would have gotten a Wrath on them and then probably win the game. So yeah, obviously don't chump here. I mean, if they kill me, they kill me. They could go like Might of the Masses plus Invade. I don't know. They could do something. Yeah, they have Clear Shot, which is very unfortunate. It breaks up our combo. We only have 1 chumper left, and now I'm just not feeling great. So this next turn, I can already tell you that I won't, but I should just board wipe here. I should just play it safe. Say my opponent is very mana screwed. They haven't been playing threats for a lot of turn. They've had mana and they haven't really used it. If I go for a board wipe, and then even if they play their first threat, I can Yavimai's Embrace it. So I should really just play Wrath of God here, because if I don't, I die to another Clear Shot. They Clear Shot my Duplicant, and then hit me for 4. And I can't block it. So I really should just Wrath of God and play a small Chalice, or play a Chalice for 3, and the next turn I have Embrace, and I've got a lot of good draws on my deck. But I say, I want to get greedy for no reason, and I don't do that. So, I lose. Shit, I shouldn't have told you that, but it's fine. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm lying to you. I'm not. So we ended up going for Big Chalice and passing, hoping that I get to chump again, and then turn to the Wrath turn afterwards. I'm like, oh, why would I do a Wrath turn before? And then at the end of my turn, I'm like, I think what's happened is I didn't get greedy. I just forgot that I was dead to another clear shot. I think on my end step, I remembered like, oh, they have clear shot. I'm dead. That sucks. And then they had it, and then we died. So it's an awkward way to lose, but I was definitely not tilted because it was my own misplays. I don't get tilted on my own misplays. I try to learn from them. So we're dead. Feels shitty, but it happens. Damn. Yeah. That's rough, but it happens. Okay. And then we will, yeah, I go back to draw the next card and see how bad I punted. So yeah, I would have Wrath of Godded. If they played anything, I would have embraced it, and then I would have run Jace to bounce their shit, and I actually just would have won that game. So, could have gotten the 3-0, my bad. So in case you thought that I only post my 3-0s, because I think my last 2 vet drafts have been 3-0s, I do not. I am more interested in helping you guys learn, whether that be, and typically you guys can learn from my best decks, because they're interesting drafts, but that's not always true, and certainly not here. So we get to go Star into land tax, which is pretty great. We can even do Chalice. We can go turn 1 Star, turn 2 Chalice with land tax. Unfortunately, I chose to be on the play because I'm an idiot and I forgot. And I'm just so used to clicking yes. Otherwise, this would just be infinitely better. I cannot stress enough how much better this hand would be if I'd chosen to be on the draw. I go Star, and then I go Chalice land tax, and then I have 3 mana, and they have 2. But if they play a land, I get to choose my land tax. So for the rest of the game, I just mana ahead or whatever. So I just fucking punted. And it's as simple as that. Again. We'll see if it punches me this match like it punched me last match. I think I ended up going for land tax pass here, which it's just such a huge punt. Like why did I not just be on the draw? Oh my god. Why, Max? Why? And the awkward thing here is now I'm gonna have to discard for sure. And I can't even play the Chalice with everything. I can't even play the Inspector with the Chalice. It was just bad. It was just a bad line. So, we'll draw some cards. Oh, no, we do because they're lands. Oh, no, we don't because it's Chalice, because the Star's gone, which is the awkward part. So, yeah, we can go Chalice pass, I guess, and discard a land. And then next turn we can go, like, Infuser and discard 2 lands, and it's just awkward. I just made a big mistake, but I'll stop beating myself up for it. Skip ahead. They play an Iron Boy. I don't know why this card's in their deck. We draw some more off this land tax. We have Merciless Eviction, and I also play Glimmer Void, very notable. So if we Merciless Eviction, we actually make them lose the Glimmer Void, which it's not obnoxious that we lose the Chalice, but it's fine. So actually, if I go for Infuser here next turn, I can actually go for Eviction. So if they play another artifact, I can Eviction next turn. It sucks that I have to lose the Chalice when I have Infuser in play, but making them lose a land is really, really nice here. Yeah, I can get one less trigger out of my land attacks, and then I can exile her board, kill one of their lands, and hopefully I start drawing spells and stop drawing lands. We'll see what they do. If they play a non-artifact creature, then I probably won't do it. But Palzanot isn't that. I kind of want to kill it anyway, so then draw a card. And they play Plating and equip it, so yeah, now we're definitely doing this. I'll take it. It sucks we have to lose the Chalice, but I'm certainly not passing up this 5 for 2. That's a nice clean 5 for 2. Oh, not clean. No, not clean, but sweet. I don't know. I'm kind of rambling at this point. My throat hurts and I'm getting tired. This is why I typically split up the content, but I just didn't do it today because I didn't feel like it. I don't know. Okay, hopefully we won't draw land here. That's decent. Having one Wrath afterwards, given that the Infuser isn't doing much. Easy Eviction. We'll discard 2 more lands, and then we're in pretty good shape. We do need to stop drawing lands at some point, but we've got land drops to make for the next several turns. We're pretty far ahead on card advantage, even though a lot of those cards are lands. We've got another board wipe, which they probably won't play around. We've got an Inspector to cycle, and we've got a lot of good stuff in our deck that could win this game instantly, like Thought Reflection or Jace or whatever. And they're just playing bad cards, too. Play Sphinx Pass. We're not taking damage here. Oh, fuck, I forgot to... God damn it. Skipping ahead keeps punishing me. What do I scry into? Oh, I just keep being punished. Feels bad, man. Alright. Land Genesis, and now we're just feeling good. So now I'm just going to stall, make some land drops, play Inspector, and then go for Genesis for 4, and hopefully that'll win the game. I could even go board wipe into Genesis for 4. So this game's just over. Pretty sweet game. Just demolished my opponent. Yeah, so this deck obviously beat the decks that it was very good against, being bad decks doing bad things, and I lost to the deck that I misplayed against, which is unfortunate. But, hopefully I learn from it. You never know, though. Okay, they play a Sphinx, or they copy Sphinx. Shit, they copy Sphinx with duplicate. Okay, and they kill my Sphinx. I'm fine with that, because it's just more cards they're using before I get to Wrath of God. So I'll probably go Wrath of God plus Inspector here. It's not ideal, but I don't really want to play the Inspector. I guess I can play the Inspector and throw the double walk and keep the Wrath. No, I should keep the Wrath, actually. I end up going for it here, but it seems pretty loose. I think I should have kept the Wrath here. Like, whatever, I'm taking 3 a turn. I am at 12, but I can take 3 for 1 more turn, and I don't get countered by the main counterspell in the set, which is the counter unless you pay 3, because next turn I'll have 7 mana. So, This play seemed a little loose. Because now if they play like a big flyer, what do I do? I mean, even though it's a 3-4, like what the hell do I do? Just die to it, I guess. I can try and race it with 3-3-3s, but it's very awkward. Alright, well now you're duplicate, so we're fine. And I obviously tutor first before I draw because I don't want to actually naturally draw duplicate, or I will lose much value. So tutor first, and then crack. Kind of sucks if we draw Jason the Mind Sculptor, because I would have rather played that, but we didn't. We drew Quarter Monitor, so now I'm just feeling great. We've got enough lands to Genesis for 4, which is probably enough to win the game. We've got duplicate for anything too big, and to bridge the gap between the next 2 turns, and the game's just kind of over. Alright. Yeah, we just drew a 6-7 or 2, so I can go get Baleful Strix, because why not? Why not just rub salt in the wound, I guess? Yeah, this was just a demolishing game. Oh, we have Kyle work to copy the Sphinx, and that's even better. Okay. And they played their own Sphinx. I think. Why is it blue? Bro, I'm so confused. Gotta stop skipping ahead. I get punished every time. Sculpting Steel. Okay, that makes sense. They Sculpting Steel my Sphinx. They tutor for their own thing. I'm not too worried about it. We've got a Cower Assembler here. And a Duplicate. And we've got a big Genesis next turn. A bit awkward. They could get some pretty nasty stuff here, like Mer Battle Sphere, but I think Genesis will probably take care of that. Inkwell, maybe? Oh, just Ferromanganus. I don't give a shit about that. Yeah, this is why I don't play blue-black commons, even with a Metamorph and like a Sculpting Steel. There's just aren't the right rares. Like, Metamorph is good as a supplemental card, but it's not enough of a rare. And also, you can just play it in any deck, so it's a good card. It's better in Esper, but, like, you don't want to go into... yeah, you don't want to be playing blue and black commons just for that. Alright, so I should have brought in the Steel Sabotage, probably, as I noticed, but, I mean, it is just awkward. Like, what do I cut? This deck's so clean. It's so hard to cut stuff. I also want to cut lands. Probably could cut the Thought Reflection, given that they're reasonably aggro, so yeah, I should probably cut the Thought Reflection for this. That actually seems reasonable. Do we do that? We now look at the Sphinx. Loose. I think I felt for some reason I felt like my deck didn't have enough late game, which is kind of true. It could hypothetically happen, but though I think I was underestimating how much of a late game the board wipes were, and I didn't really need much more than that. Alright, we'll get Strix. We can't mulligan the hand. Game's probably just over. We'll see. Okay, they play land pass. We play land tax pass, which is an amazing draw. Unfortunately, we'll have to discard a little bit. I might not actually go full ham on the land tax because I don't want to discard too much, but maybe I will. I do want to deck thin. I do want to find all my colored sources, so maybe I will just to deck thin since we have the Thought Reflection. Yeah, I'm fine with deck thin here, I guess. Maybe I'll only take 2. Yeah, I think I'll just take 2. That seems fine. Okay, we'll play, I guess, Island Star. Ooh, that's a nice draw. I don't have to discard at all. Very lucky. Yeah, so we can do this plus Star. And then next turn we can get some more lands, play Strix, have to discard some cards, but it's fine. We got plenty of lands. Make sure to keep a 3rd island for the Thought Reflection. Maybe get one of these plans, and we're just in great shape. Like, as long as they don't do anything too busted with dumb rares, we should be fine this game. They play Master, kind of a dumb rare, but, like, we have Strix, so who gives a shit? Even better with Jace. We just Jace bounce it. That's pretty funny. Yeah, we've just drawn the nuts this game. This is, like, the actual perfect. Land tax into Evervillian Shallow Star into Jace is just the nuts. We'll discard planes, whatever, it doesn't matter. Next turn we can go Strix plus bounce again. Turn afterwards we can start drawing cards off this Jace, and they're just fucking daubs. They're just daubs. They decide to go for a Mechanist because they don't want us to bounce, because at least if they bounce it, they get to draw cards. I don't remember what they revealed. I probably should have checked. They revealed Phyrexian Metamorph, okay. So they have Phyrexian Metamorph in hand. Kind of obnoxious, but currently nothing to copy. They copy Strix if they want, but that's a lot of tempo to lose. Just to make a 1-1 that doesn't actually pressure my Jace that well. So I probably should bounce it, because if I wanted this Strix and they kill it, I should either plus the Jace or minus. For some reason, I just don't do that because I'm stupid. But luckily, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. With the Steel Sabotage 2, I should just like 100% bounce this Mechanist. Hopefully, I do that. I actually don't remember. Max, past Max, please just bounce this Mechanist. Please, please, please bounce it. You've got to Steel Sabotage, please. Please don't Brainstorm. Please don't Brainstorm. You already have to discard. Please don't Brainstorm. At least plus. At least plus. Please. 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 No. I think I wanted to get rid of some of these lands because I thought I was going to be able to land tax next turn, so I wanted to be able to get rid of some of these lands. I just drew more. That play was so loose. I have a Thought Reflection and a Galvanized Embrace. If I keep this Jason play long enough to Thought Reflection and then draw the Ray, it's just game over. That was just horrible. That was just fucking horrible, Max. You're so dumb. Okay. Yeah, and they cast down, attack, and our Jace dies, or we bounce it, which I don't really want to bounce it, and it's just a bad play. It was just a bad play. Oh, God. Wait, did we discard the Thought Reflection? What? Bro, what is wrong with me? Why did I want to land over a Thought Reflection? What? What? Okay. All right, I'm gonna use the tired excuse. I did probably there's a good chance I recorded this at 2 a.m. I definitely recorded this while I was on vacation with my parents, and I was just going ham at night playing games. So that's my excuse. I was tired. It was late at night. That was pretty bad though. That was really bad. Especially if they don't play a land here, and I just have to draw these other lands more. Yeah, they play a Sphinx. And luckily, I guess that means they play a land, so at least we get to shuffle. Okay, we bounce their guy and draw Genesis for turn after getting some more lands. Next turn we can play Big Genesis or we can steal anything, and we're still in great shape, but that play was just actual worst play possible. Like if I had kept the double draw, I could have just played that turn and bounced that instead of playing whatever I played. You get Sculpting Seals and I have multiple copies. I'm getting a little scared here, but I feel like the Genesis and the Alchemized Embrace will be enough. We'll see. Probably just Brainstorm again and then play the Embrace. Could plus here so I can minus in the future, but I think I'm more worried about taking like my combo or whatever. Yeah, I just did not play this game well, guys. Just did not. Just straight up did not play this game well. Hopefully I'm not. Looks like I'm not gonna get punished though, so lucky me. They Path X out in response, which is actually a good play from them, although them ramping is actually okay because I have land tax, but actually no it's not because they're already missing a bunch of land drops. That's a pretty good play for them in a reasonable blood, but hopefully the 4/4/4s will probably kill them, and if they don't, we can try and stall long enough to get a 7/7 have Chalice on 7 and then go infinite. So that's kind of cool. So I think we'll be able to win this game pretty handily, but it's getting a little risky now. They've got a lot of cards in the hand, they got a lot of threats, so we could definitely lose this game. We do 3 board wipes, so if they overcommit, like the board wipes will just fuck them. 2 left, I think. The Wrath of God's gone now. But that's fine. Yeah, we'll just draw some more off the Jace since... Now I definitely know plus. Last turn, it might have been cracked because I could have bounced this Master. I'm not sure why they didn't play anything more than the Master. Maybe they were holding up a counterspell, or maybe they were just playing around a board wipe, but either way, it seems kind of loose. So we can go Summoner plus the 2/3, or we can go Summoner plus the Infuser. Probably Summoner plus the Infuser. And tutor for the 2/3 for the turn afterwards. Then we can go like... I think we have no mana. Yeah, if we untap with the Infuser and the Sphinx, we can go play the 2/3 and copy the Sphinx Summoner. Could have gotten the Duplicate as well, but I think the card works out more than a significant amount better here. Oh, I guess not. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we only have 11 cards left in our deck, and we have a Jace to play, so it probably doesn't matter. Play Thirst. I guess that's why I left mana up. Makes some amount of sense, but it means it's a lot harder for them to kill the Jace, so kind of loose. They discard 2 lands, play an Iron Bully. I don't know why they don't put a counter on the Master. They put a counter on itself, which just seems super weird to me, because they put it on the Master and they play another artifact, and they can attack pretty profitably in the Jace. And I don't want to chop with either of these. But yeah, next turn I'll probably just go for a Genesis for 5 if I can, and that should be enough to win the game. 5/5/5s, I'd imagine, will probably do the trick. I'm a little bit worried about a board wipe here, so I might just wait, especially if they don't attack here. Yeah, they put it on itself and then they don't attack, I think, which is just crazy loose. They also could have played these Sculpting Steels. Like, why didn't they just copy their Master? Like, what are they playing around? I guess a board wipe, but I don't feel like they have the liberty to play around a board wipe here. I mean, they know I have at least one more in my deck because they saw the one that exiles artifacts in game 1, but that just seems loose. Do the Salvagers for more card draw, which is pretty good. Use Jason more. Could have plussed it, but eh. Put 2 lands on top and then shuffle away with Treasure Mage, which seems kind of smart. Or we could just shuffle the Treasure Mage away. That works too. Or we could put it on top because it doesn't matter because we have no cards. Like, the shuffle's not really relevant here. We just have no cards in our deck, so it doesn't really matter that much. We got the card work now. The Duplicate, exile the Master, since I think... Yeah, it's a weird interaction because it shifts. The Duplicate changes stats depending on how many artifacts, not I have, but how many artifacts my opponent have, which is super weird. I will see it'll become a 2/2 here. My opponent has 2 artifacts, which is kind of cool. Then we can go Third Inspector plus Salvagers. Turn afterwards, we can do Big Genesis if we want. Yeah, here I want to play around a counterspell, but we've got Genesis to win. We are getting close to having enough mana to be able to just cast a Chalice for 6 or 7 and then go infinite, and the game's just still pretty over, despite my numerous misplays. Right now we've got 11 mana. Next turn we'll have 13. And the turn afterwards probably 14 with a land, assuming the Infuser doesn't die, which it shouldn't, because why would they kill it? They don't know we have an infinite combo in our deck. And next turn we can also go Assembler plus copy the Sphinx to set up next turn for the turn afterwards. Although I do kind of want to hold the Assembler for the turn I go off, because I don't want to show it to them and then have them kill it. So yeah, I might just go Genesis for like 4 next turn, just to play around a counterspell, because Genesis for 4 is probably enough, given that they're not really doing anything currently. They can copy our Duplicate, but I don't really give a shit. I'm much less scared of them copying Duplicate than I am of them copying the Master of Ethereum. And that's what they go for, which makes a decent amount of sense. Probably exile those Salvagers. But I don't really give a shit. I've only got 9 cards left, so I think the Jace plus the Clue plus the Stars enough card draw without the Salvagers. Oh, actually, they go for the Sphinx. I guess that makes sense. I guess that's fair. They're worried it's going to kill him or something. I don't know. Maybe they'll do it again and kill the Salvagers. Nope, they go plating. Kind of annoying out of the bully, but I'll just block with like the Duplicant and the Third Inspector, I guess. Maybe the Salvagers and the Duplicant, so I don't have to lose 1 creature. Yeah, that seems better. Yeah, this game's just pretty over. Okay, yeah, I'm still worried about the board wipes. I think I'm only going to do Genesis for 4 here, and I think I can play Genesis for 4 without leaving it, still leaving up 3 mana. Right? Yes. Yeah. 4 mana, actually. It's a bit awkward. I could have waited 1 more turn, but I think 4 is probably going to be enough. I really don't see the problem here. I can always bounce with Jace if I need to. I can, like, copy the Duplicant if I play something too big. And this should definitely be enough. Just playing our board ups just for equity here. They bounce their own thing for some reason. Maybe they thought they could exile my Oozes if they copy the Duplicant again, which they can't because it says a non-token only. So, yeah, the game's just over here. Well, Duplicant, yeah, they copy our Duplicant. They think they can exile Ooze. They can't. They realize that, and they concede shortly. Mechanist, and then they just conceded. All right, everyone. That is it for me. I hope you enjoyed this draft, this guide, and hopefully this gameplay. Feedback is always appreciated. You can DM me or you can comment it in the YouTube channel. Again, if you do like the gameplay, let me know. And if you don't, you can also let me know, or you can just not say anything and it'll probably go away because no one says anything. Feel free and be encouraged to follow me on Twitch. Link in the description. I stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays, Magic, usually drafts, and I also stream variety streams on Saturdays. You can also follow me on Twitter, link also in the description. That's going to be it for me. Have a good night, everyone.